Okay, and our next story. Um, my mom actually pointed this out to me because she lives in Mississippi. I had no idea what was going on, and I wanted to talk about it because it's a case of Mississippi trying to destroy democracy. Plain and simple. So, Mississippi High Court, this is from facingsouth.org, a voice for a changing South. Mississippi High Court could block medical marijuana and ex felon voting rights. The Mississippi Supreme Court is now deciding whether a technicality in the state constitution requires them to invalidate a medical marijuana amendment that was approved by more than 2/3 of voters in last year's election. If the justices throw it out, their decision could thwart a new campaign to restore voting rights to people with felony convictions, as well as any future citizen driven amendment efforts. Now, this is Mary Hawkins Butler in this picture, mayor of Madison, Mississippi. She's a horrible person. She reminds me of Paula Deen. She looks like a racist. She probably is. I don't want to claim she is, but she probably is. So, wow. To put an amendment on the ballot, the Mississippi Constitution requires citizens to gather a certain number of signatures. It says those signatures must be divided equally among the state's 5 congressional districts. The problem is that Mississippi only has 4 districts, having lost one after the 2000 census. It's mathematically impossible to collect enough signatures from 4 congressional districts without having more than 1/5 of the signatures in any one of them. The legislature has reportedly failed to fix this discrepancy. So this is the problem here, is that the whole thing is a bunch of bullshit. This is really because they've had 20 years to fix this issue, and they never have. And it's never really been an issue until progressive ideas started coming into vote. Now, let's look at this. What is a direct ballot initiative? A direct ballot initiative is probably the greatest thing that any state could implement. Now, a direct ballot initiative is if you get enough signatures from your state, whatever that ballot initiative is, it can become on it, you can vote for it. So this, in this particular case, it is the medical marijuana amendment. They got enough signatures putting medical marijuana to legalize or to vote for yes or no for medical marijuana onto the ballot directly. And then voting on this direct ballot initiative, 70% of Mississippians voted to legalize medical marijuana, to approve medical marijuana for medical use. Now, the issue is that they have not recast these 5 districts, and this has never been an issue. This has never been an issue until progressive ideas came in. When ideas such as legalizing marijuana, such as voter rights for felons, such as these expanding Medicaid, expanding Medicare. These ideas start coming into play, and all of a sudden, whoa! We don't. This is technically impossible because you can only have 20%, and you obviously have more than 20. You have 25% from each because we don't have a 5th district. We haven't cast a 5th district. This is spitting in the face of democracy. Now, this is obviously a way. It's violating like the spirit of democracy, and it's violating the law as well, because how can a court overrule the will of the people? Because the Supreme Court does not have the Supreme Court does not have jurisdiction to affirm or overturn the will of the people. That is a direct quote. So they can neither confirm nor deny. The Supreme Court is there, and the same with the Supreme Court for the national Supreme Court. The same thing applies. They're only there to uphold the law, to look into the law and decide if things are just or not just according to the law. They can't change the laws, not necessarily. They can only decree if they are constitutional or not. They can't really change them. So it's constitutionally invalid to get 70% of the vote, and then tell these people that what they voted for, their vote doesn't matter. You're basically telling them that their vote doesn't matter, and that's so disenfranchising to people. These bills that are coming up to vote now, these expanding Medicare, legalizing weed, voter rights for felons, these progressive ideas that Mississippians are embracing, even though their politicians are not. The people of Mississippi are good people. The politicians are obviously racist, bigots, horrible, horrible people. Like, oh man, I just can't wrap my head around your vote not mattering in Mississippi. And I hope that my mother moves out of there, because that place is going to hell fast.